to ground zero quicker.
Well, you know, the namesake for this college, she had to be, Mrs. Terry, she had to be rescued by boat at 96 Jackson. She lives on St. John's, and it came into her house, and she and her caregiver couldn't get out fast enough. I thought of her immediately. That's why I called her niece, because I was like, I remember how close her back door was to the river. It's nice to be close to water, but sometimes you pay a price for it. That's right. Did you get a fly? Hey, Jack, nice to see you. Thank you for what y'all have done to make all this possible. Thank you for being here. I guess we might better sit down. I mean, how does this stuff happen? I just started looking and couldn't find him anywhere. Oh, there he is. Okay, he's here. I'm sorry. I didn't. If everyone could take their seats at this point. What a beautiful morning to be in Athens, Georgia. Yes. And what an extraordinary week to have been a Georgia Bulldog. This is the first time I've seen many of you since we were all celebrating in South Bend last weekend, and it's wonderful to conclude that period of celebration with this incredible event this morning. But before we begin, I want to take a moment to share the university's heartfelt sympathies with the communities here in Georgia, throughout the southeast United States and across the Caribbean that were so severely impacted by Hurricane Irma. The devastation, as I'm sure all of you have seen and read, is catastrophic in so many places, including the home of Mary Virginia Terry, the namesake of the Terry College of Business and a resident of Jacksonville, Florida. Let us keep Mrs. Terry and all the individuals who have been affected by the storm in our thoughts and prayers as they begin what will likely be a very long road to recovery. And I want to thank the governor for his outstanding leadership during this very difficult time. Governor, we're grateful for all that you have done to help the state of Georgia prepare for this historic weather event and then to pick up the pieces in the aftermath. Thank you very much. I also want to acknowledge publicly the many employees of this university who worked tirelessly in challenging conditions to protect our campus during the storm and to restore normal operations soon after it passed. And I'm especially grateful to our Facilities Management Division, the UGA Police, and the Office of Emergency Preparation for their leadership and very hard work. We were able to hold this ceremony today because of their diligent efforts, so thank you very much. Today's ceremony is a wonderful occasion for the Terry College of Business, the University of Georgia, and our home state as we commemorate the completion of Phase 2 of the Business Learning Community, which includes Amos Hall, Benson Hall, and Moore Rooker Hall, and officially break ground on the third and final phase of this world-class facility. But today we're celebrating more than bricks and mortar. We're celebrating the great partnership between the university, our alumni and friends, and the state of Georgia. This project, when all three phases are completed, will have been funded by a 50-50 match of state and private support. So I want to take a moment to thank all our donors, but especially our lead donors, Dan Amos, Ed and Larry Benson, Dudley Moore, and Jack Rooker, who will speak later in this program, as well as Phil Casey, who funded the undergraduate commons in Amos Hall. But I also want to thank our state leaders. We would not be here today without the essential support of Governor Nathan Deal and the General Assembly, who approved $40 million for Phase 2 and $18 million for Phase 3. And I know we're all looking forward to hearing from Governor Deal this morning. Governor, we're honored that you are here, and we're also honored to have the First Lady of Georgia, Mrs. Sandra Deal, here, who took the time to join us. Thank you very much. We are also glad to have State Senator Larry Walker, State Representative Chuck Martin be with us here today. We appreciate your support of this project. And Chancellor Steve Wrigley and the Board of Regents were also pivotal to the realization of this project. We're very pleased that the university system's Executive Vice Chancellor of Administration and one of our own, Tricia Chastain, could join us today as a member of the Platform Party, and we're pleased that Regent Rogers Wade could also be here. Thank you very much. Finally, I want to thank the Building Terry Campaign Cabinet, led by Dan Amos, the National Campaign Committee, the senior leadership of the Terry College, and I want to pause here for a moment to ask everyone to join me in recognizing Dean Ben Ayers. Thank you, Dean. The Office of University Architects, and the numerous individuals and offices across this campus and at the state level whose tireless efforts have led to this important moment. So, please join me in thanking so many of you here today for making this possible. And now to the ceremony itself. It's a pleasure for me to introduce our first speaker, Lee Peters. Lee is a senior in the Terry College of Business from Atlanta, Georgia. Among her many activities at UGA, she has been a member of the Terry Ambassadors Program, the Leonard Leadership Scholars Program, the Corsair Society, the Student Managed Investment Fund, and Women in Finance. You've stayed very, very busy. Lee will graduate this spring with a major in finance and a minor in anthropology and a certificate in personal and organizational leadership. And she's already employed. She has taken a full-time position with SunTrust Robinson Humphrey after completing a successful internship with them last summer. Lee, we appreciate that you are with us today, and we look forward to you providing a perspective from our undergraduate students. Join me in welcoming Lee.
Good morning, everyone. I remember as a first-year student hearing about and then seeing the construction of the Terry Master Plan, wondering if I'd really be able to benefit from it before graduation. And I'm sure glad the answer to that has proven yes. I've already noticed in these past weeks the way these buildings are changing how students are able to meet to study grab a bite to eat, or catch up on summer internships and study abroads. For me personally, I've already had women in finance meetings in the study areas, have easily met with professors and advisors in the upstairs offices, and have talked to companies holding information sessions in the classrooms, all in just the last month. This community has proven to be just that, a community that fosters student growth and helps us connect with each other, professors, organizations, and employers. Not only do these buildings stand out to current students, but I've even heard the chatter from prospective students, as I've talked to ones on tours and have a younger sister who's a senior in high school. These facilities will help attract the top talent and allow Terry to continue to prove and stand out as one of America's top business schools. As this is my 4th and final year here, as sad as that is, I can truly say that being a part of Terry and its many programs has played a huge role in my college career and shaping me into the person that I am today. It's given me not only the confidence, the knowledge, and the invaluable technical experience I'll need for a successful career, but also friends and mentors that I'll cherish forever. And I know this is true of many of my friends and of many students yet to come. So on behalf of all of us, I wanted to truly thank everyone who gave and continues to give their support. It is so appreciated and has more of an impact on us students than you know. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Our next speaker is Dan Amos, and I know I speak for Dean Ayers and so many here today in saying we would not be having this ceremony without Dan Amos. Dan has spent more than 40 years with Aflac, a Fortune 500 company that insures more than 50 million people worldwide. He has served as CEO of Aflac since 1990 and chairman since 2001. Dan has been named one of America's best CEOs by Institutional Investor magazine 5 times, and Aflac has been recognized as one of America's 100 best companies to work for 18 consecutive years by Fortune magazine. Dan graduated from the Terry College in 1973 with a bachelor's degree in risk management and insurance, and has since become one of UGA's most generous and steadfast supporters. He's the former chair and now a current member of the UGA Foundation Board of Trustees. He has funded a distinguished professorship in risk management and insurance. He has served in the important role of chair of the highly successful Building Terry campaign and made a leadership gift to support it. Dan, we are grateful for all that you mean to the University of Georgia, and we look forward this morning to expressing our appreciation to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Let me first thank the governor for the commitment that he has made to this capital campaign through the legislature. It would not have happened without him. But let me say, as chairman of the capital campaign, that none of this would have happened were it not for you. And I want to thank every person that gave $1 or more, that you made a difference in us achieving our objective. Last night I made the comment that we all love Georgia football, and we love Georgia basketball, but I can argue that this business school and what has taken place relates back to the same thing that they do at the basketball and the football era, and that is that you have to recruit great students or great athletes, you have to have great coaches, or you have to have great professors, and then you have to have great facilities. We did not have great facilities. I went around and I looked at different universities, and going to Notre Dame last week, we looked at Notre Dame. And there is not a single campus in America today that is better than the University of Georgia Business School and Terry College. So I congratulate you for that. On behalf of my family, I want to tell you what an honor it is to put our name on a building here. We all love the University of Georgia. The University of Georgia has made a difference in my lives, the lives of so many of my friends, and we are a true Georgia supporter, and I'm working on Grand Boys trying to get them to Georgia right now. So I will just let you know, I will end as chairman of the Capitol Campaign only to say that we're going to be breaking ground. We have 2 buildings left that can be named. And I want to give all of you an opportunity to have one of those buildings with your name on it and be up here 2 years from now when we dedicate those 2. So keep that in mind. God bless each one of you, and go Dogs.
On behalf of all of us supporting development, we appreciate your ongoing efforts in that regard. Our next speaker is Larry Benson, who has served for the past 25 years as chairman and CEO of Benson's Incorporated, the parent company to Benson's Hospitality Group in Athens and Benson's Bakery in Bogart, Georgia. Larry is the 3rd generation to lead this family-owned company, which operates several hotel properties in the Athens area and produces Benson's Old Home Kitchens cake products for retailers nationwide. The Bensons are one of Athens's most community-minded families, and they share a very special connection with the Terry College of Business and the University of Georgia. Larry graduated with a bachelor's degree in management in 1974. His father, Ed Benson, who is also with us today, was the 2nd generation to lead the family business. Ed graduated in 1942 with a bachelor's degree in business and received the Terry College's Distinguished Alumni Award in 1969. He also has served on the UGA Foundation Board of Trustees. We are pleased that Larry will speak today on behalf of the Benson family about the legacy that they are leaving to the University of Georgia through their generous gift to name Benson Hall. Please join me in welcoming Larry Benson.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's truly an honor to be here with you and Governor Deal and all these distinguished guests assembled here to dedicate Phase 2 of this magnificent Terry College business learning community, including Benson's Hall. I'm pleased to represent my grandfather, Howard, who founded the original Benson's Bakery in downtown Athens 100 years ago, and my father, Ed, who is here today, and with gratitude for the formative education my dad and I received from the Terry Business School and the University of Georgia. That educational experience rewarded my dad and me with the opportunity to build the Athens-based business, our Athens-based business, Benson's Inc., which has come today. Likewise, our business has benefited mightily from the close relationship with UGA and its growth over the years. Literally hundreds of UGA and Terry business students have become valued Benson's associates. Today, nearly 700 Benson's associates and their families live and work in the Athens community. With the completion of the new Marriott property just north of Terry campus here, it will join 3 other Benson's hospitality hotels in downtown Athens near the UGA campus, and another Marriott property in nearby Oconee County. And as we celebrate our 100th anniversary of Benson's Bakery, we are proud to distribute cakes all over the United States. It's amazing. As we honor our past and our relationship with the Terry Business School, we are pleased that Benson Hall will play a prominent role in educating future business leaders for the next 100 years and beyond. The best is yet to come. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Larry. Next, we will hear from Dudley Moore, Jr., who serves as a great example of the entrepreneurial spirit found in the Terry College of Business. After graduating in 1957 with a bachelor's degree in risk management and insurance, Dudley founded, invested in, and grew insurance companies, banks, and other startups throughout his career. Perhaps his most significant venture was founding Omni Insurance Group in 1985, which was later acquired by Hartford Financial Services. He is now the managing partner of Moore Investment Group. Dudley has remained very active in the Terry College of Business as an alumnus. He served the college for 3 years as a practitioner lecturer. He has received the Terry College's Distinguished Alumni Award, and he has endowed a faculty chair in insurance. In 2001, he was elected as the founding chair of the college's Board of Overseers. Dudley also is the past chair of the UGA Foundation Board of Trustees, a former trustee of the UGA Real Estate Foundation, and an emeritus member of the UGA Athletic Association Board of Directors. Please join me in welcoming Dudley Moore.
Thank you, President Moorhead. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Morning. Great to be a Georgia Bulldog, and it's great to be in the sunshine today. I got to tell you something. It's hard for me to reflect on the change that has taken place on this campus since the time that I was being educated over in Brooks Hall. There were about 3 or 4 rooms, as I remember it, very small, dim lighted. The risk management and insurance program was a new event for the university. And we had some great times over there trying to learn a little something about insurance. But when we look around and recognize that the Terry College has changed so much and know that it is committed to teaching the principles of business and the ethics of business in the best possible way. Economic development is an important part of our activity at Terry, basically through teaching, research, and service. And where in the world else would you find a better place now to accomplish that than on the business learning complex of the Terry College? The best part to me is that our family has been able to participate in such a significant and meaningful way to help fund these buildings. It's truly humiliating and a real thrill to come over here and walk through the buildings and see what's really happening and see the students that are enjoying themselves. They just don't know what they missed back in the 1950s. And as you probably will agree with me, I think all of us can agree that college friendships emanate quickly and they run deep, and sometimes they are lasting and sometimes they're not. But I have a friendship with Jack Rooker that is long-lasting and has been a sincere, true friend for a long, long time. And his family is someone whom I love. Peggy and I enjoy being with every time we're around, and it's been great to be with them. But I don't think we should overlook the fact that this has all happened because of folks like Governor Deal, the legislature, the leadership that Jerry Moorhead has provided, and Ben Ayers has provided. And I've come to know Ben and love Ben in Maryland. Thank you for all you do. But I think it's important also to recognize the fact that this faculty and the students of this faculty that are a part of the faculty have enjoyed their part in bringing this about. It's been a wonderful experience, and believe me, they're truly dedicated. They love the University of Georgia. They're hardworking, they're diligent, and we need to recognize and be thankful that we have folks like this at the University of Georgia. The one thing that has always been a part of my life is that if you dream big, you can make it happen. And dreams and visions do come true. We've seen this. And this business community is a good example. We've got a building to prove it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dudley. Our next speaker is Jack Rooker. Jack graduated from the Terry College in 1960 with a bachelor's degree in business administration. And after graduating, he joined the family's business, Southern Bonded Warehouse, and worked in every area of the company until becoming chair and CEO in 1975. He led the company for 30 years before selling the business in 2005. In addition, Jack has been the CEO of Rooker, a development and construction firm, since 1965. Jack received the Distinguished Alumnus Award from the Terry College in 1992, and he has devoted his energy, his expertise, and his resources to UGA in numerous ways since that time. He served for many years on the UGA Foundation Board of Trustees, including 2 years as chair. Jack was the primary force behind the establishment of the UGA Real Estate Foundation. When the foundation was formed in 1999, he served as the first chair. He continued as a trustee until 2005, and then he was persuaded to come back as a trustee in 2007 and serve for 8 more years. His vision and leadership helped make the Real Estate Foundation what it is today. Please join me in welcoming Jack Rooker. Jack?
Good morning. Great to be here. I love my partner, Dudley. You gotta love him. All I have to do is say, "Tell it all, brother." And he will, and does a great job, and I appreciate him, and I appreciated what he did with me. They said I was a little long last night, and so today I'm gonna give you a little words from that great singing orator, Elvis Presley. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And just like last night, you've stolen the show again. Our next speaker is Tricia Chastain, the Executive Vice Chancellor of Administration for the University System of Georgia. In this role, Tricia oversees the business operations of the university system and its 28 institutions in the areas of real estate, facilities, legal affairs, human resources, campus safety, and organizational effectiveness. Prior to joining the university system, Tricia served as president of the Georgia Student Finance Commission, where she led the administration of Georgia's 22 scholarship, grant, and loan programs, including HOPE and Move On When Ready. From 2011 to 2015, she served as Associate Vice President for Government Relations at the University of Georgia, and in this role, she was responsible for managing UGA's relationships with the Governor's Office, the General Assembly, the university system, and statewide elected and appointed officers, where she got to tell the Terry story for this project many times. Tricia began her career working in the office of U.S. Senator Johnny Isakson when he was a member of the U.S. House of Representatives. She graduated from UGA's Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication and was president of the student body, where I first had the opportunity to get to know her and call her a friend. Please join me in welcoming Tricia Chastain.
Well, good morning. It is an honor to be here. So I'm the 7th speaker on the program, and the 8th speaker is the governor. So I knew I had to be brief, but Mr. Rooker, that's hard to beat. So, on behalf of the Chancellor and the Board of Regents, I just want to congratulate and thank all of you on the stage, all of you in the audience who played a role in getting us to this moment today. Projects like this don't happen without the support of the governor. So, Governor Deal, thank you for your support from the very beginning, and thank you for your leadership. UGA has certainly prospered, and the university system has certainly prospered under your leadership. The General Assembly also played a really important role. We have a great local delegation at UGA. They work hard and they work together, so thanks to the General Assembly for their support. And of course, all the alumni and friends of the college who put up, as President Moorhead said, 50% of the funding for this business learning community. That is tremendous and says so much about the reputation of the Terry College, not only in the state, but really across the country and across the world. So congratulations for that. One final thing I'll close with, at the system office, once we break ground, once we get the funding, we sit over there and we worry about two things, and we kind of hassle your staff and about two things, and that's keeping projects on time and keeping them within budget. And so congratulations to Ryan Nesbitt and his team, to the design and construction team for getting phase 2 delivered within budget and on time, and plenty of time for the students who came back this fall semester to enjoy it. That actually is quite an accomplishment, so congratulations. It's an honor to, thank you. Again, it's an honor to be here, and congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Tricia. We are very honored to have Governor Nathan Deal as our keynote speaker this morning. One of the great privileges I have enjoyed as president of the University of Georgia has been the opportunity to work with Governor Nathan Deal. I shall be forever indebted to him for his mentorship and his support of me in this role. And I'm pleased to say that the University of Georgia has benefited significantly from the governor's leadership and support. The business learning community is yet another example of his commitment to leveraging resources in public higher education to promote prosperity for this state. Governor Deal's public service to Georgia extends over 4 decades. A Sandersville native, he served his country in the U.S. Army at Fort Gordon in Augusta after graduating with a law degree from Mercer University. And then he began the private practice of law in Gainesville. While our First Lady was teaching in Hall County Public Schools, the governor began a long and distinguished period of public service in his community as a prosecutor, as a judge, as a state senator, and as a U.S. congressman. He concluded a 17-year congressional career to run for governor, and he became Georgia's 82nd governor in January of 2011. Since taking office, he has led Georgia to become the #1 state in the nation to do business for 4 years in a row, a first in Georgia history. Governor, yes. Governor, it is an honor to have you with us today, and we look forward to your remarks.
Well, good morning, everyone. I guess if Jack's right, I should stop at this point, but I won't. Thank you for inviting me and Sandra to be with you this morning. And Jerry, thank you for the introduction. I'm going to tell you a story that very few people have heard or even know about. Rogers Wade is one who knows about it as a member of the Board of Regents. Shortly after I was elected governor in and took office in January of 2011, I was asked by the Board of Regents if I would consent to interview the two finalists for the presidency of the University of Georgia. I was honored to be asked to do that, and I was even more honored when the Regents took my advice and selected Jerry Moorhead. He has been an outstanding president, and today's ceremony, even though there are many others to be thanked, and especially those who are the private benefactors of this expansion, none of this would have happened without the outstanding leadership of Jerry Moorhead. And Mr. President, I thank you. Well, we all take pride in a number of things. Our football teams, our excellence in athletics across the board, our academics, and of course the University of Georgia has just recently again been recognized as one of the best values and in the top 10 of all public universities in the country. And I congratulate you and your team for that. But none of this happens without good team effort, and you certainly have put together a great team. Let me give you a quick overview of where this ceremony today fits in the overall picture of the present in Georgia, as well, perhaps more importantly, in the future of Georgia. We were a state that went through great and hard times after the recession hit. And we were a state that had been growing rapidly, but suddenly everything came to a screeching halt. We did not have the economy that we had depended upon, and we had to make some rather critical decisions. One of the decisions that I thank the members of the General for supporting me in this effort, this project today, I appreciate their support for that in the budget, but was that we decided we were not going to tax our way out of the recession. We were going to grow ourselves out of it. So we started asking the questions, what does it take to do that? And one of the things that became very clear was that we needed to lean on the resources of private business and private industry and try to give them the ingredients that they think is important to make them successful. Now, the result of that approach has been tremendous. As Jerry indicated, just again this last week, we have had another publication, Area Development Magazine, recognize us as having been the best state in the country in which to do business for the 4th consecutive year. Others have already done that, and we're hoping for a 5th when it rolls around into next year. We'd never even been selected as the top state for 1 year prior to 2013. So we're on a roll, and we want to keep it that way. And what you're doing today is going to help us keep it that way. We have seen well over 600,000 new private sector jobs since January of 2011, and I think that's a low number. I think personally we're closer to 700,000 private sector jobs, and they keep coming in every day. If you are attentive to the announcements of new businesses that are making choices to come to Georgia, we have virtually no week that goes by that we do not have new announcements of companies that are either expanding or new ones that are coming to our state. And usually these announcements are the ones that are in the multiple hundreds of jobs. Press doesn't bother with the ones that are lower than that. They won't even report those. But we have great news. We've grown in population. And I have a feeling that all of those Florida tags that we saw going up 75, some of them are not going to go home. They're going to probably stay here. And we have grown from the 10th largest state during that 6.5-year period of time now to the 8th largest state. And for those of us in the political arena, I'm predicting that by the time the next census occurs, the state of Georgia has grown so much that we're going to get 2 additional members of the United States House of Representatives to be indicative of the population growth that we are experiencing. Now, as we sit in on meetings with businesses that are thinking about coming to Georgia, they have several things that they want to know. Now, most of the time people think of, well, they're just concerned about the workforce, and that is certainly an important element in decisions that companies make. And our technical college system, which is one of the best in the country, is a vital part of supplying that kind of qualified workforce. But many times people don't realize how important the Board of Regents institutions are in doing that very same thing, because they are also looking for people in their management teams, people who have the ability, the background, the training, and hopefully some experience in knowing what to do to keep a company moving in the right direction. And what the Terry College of Business is doing is supplying a very fertile group of graduates who have those kinds of technical skills, managerial skills, economic understandings, and that is very, very important. And Dean, I congratulate you and your staff on what you're doing in that regard. Now, it would certainly be inappropriate if I did not pay a special tribute to the private donors who have been recognized and who have spoken up to this point. This is probably, in my memory, the best example of a public-private partnership that I can think of. Now, we've had a lot of them, but this is multifaceted in terms of individuals and in private capacities giving of their resources and coupling that with the resources that you as taxpayers have provided to the state of Georgia. And the result is tremendous. And I am just honored to be here with you today. What you do here does indeed have long-term consequences. There will be alumni in the future who will talk about their good old days when they were here and how rough they had it, you know? We may think we're giving them a lot and they should enjoy and be proud of, but you wait 20 years from now and you're going to hear how bad the conditions were, you know? Well, don't believe them. I won't either. But it is important to have this public-private partnership, and I congratulate and I thank all of you. Tricia, thank you for your leadership and that of the Chancellor's Office. And Rogers, please extend our appreciation to the Board of Regents. And to the General Assembly members who are here, thank you. We have a lot to be proud of. We do a lot of bragging. If you hadn't done anything, you don't have anything to brag about. And we do a lot of that. And most of that is attributed to the support that I have had during my administration by the members of the Georgia General Assembly. And most of the time, that support has not been on partisan lines. It has been bipartisan, because I think most of us all believe that we can work together for the good of the citizens of our state today, for the future of our children, and for the prosperity of Georgia in the years to come. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Governor. You mean so much to this state, and we appreciate your extraordinary leadership. As we close today, I want to acknowledge that this college has been led by 3 extraordinary individuals during the period of this campaign: Robert Summercrest, Chuck Knapp, and of course now Ben Ayers. And I believe that both Chuck Knapp is with us, and I know Dean Ayers is with us, so I'd like both of them to stand so that we may recognize them at this time. As we conclude this wonderful ceremony, I'd like to invite members of the Platform Party, First Lady Mrs. Sandra Deal, members of the General Assembly, regents, state elected officials, Mayor Denson, Provost Whitten, Dean Ayers, Ed Benson, Phil Casey, and the spouses of these major donors to join me in cutting the ceremonial ribbon for Amos, Benson, and Moore Rooker Halls. And then after that is done, I would ask all of you, led by the governor, to go to the opposite side of Amos Hall so that we can turn the shovels to symbolize the groundbreaking of Phase 3 of the Terry College of Business. Thank you so much for being with us today.
I think we go down this